Welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. I'm John, and I've got a doozy for you guys here on Patreon. It's a Patreon exclusive, and it is first thing in the morning, and I've been putting together information for you guys to consider, to look at, to understand with me. And you can agree or disagree or partially agree. It doesn't matter. One of the big questions I know everyone has is, why am I getting so much gray in my beard? I trimmed it all down and thought, what the heck happened, John? Anyways, back to the reality. There is, in my opinion, a serious push for nearly open war. I mean, maybe it is open warfare, and we're so conditioned to the bickering and fighting and stupidity that we're not quite seeing it. But I see it as we're very close to, maybe, I should say, not war. Maybe we are engaged in war. Maybe we're seeing it almost become nuclear with regard to the way the different factions that want to control this planet are in charge. Now, here's the downside. The downside is you and I are just regular people. Regular people. As a result of being just regular people, we're going to get trampled. We're going to get kicked around. They're going to pour out all of their viciousness, and we're going to suffer for it. The good news is that we're just little people, and as a result, we can scamper about. We're not tied to big institutions. We're not tied to a power structure, right, that is gonna sacrifice us individually. It's going to sacrifice us collectively, and it's been milking us collectively. But this huge war, I'm going to touch on a few subjects here. In fact, look at the description down below. You're going to see a lot of links. And I put all these together in a specific order to consider what is happening. Now, it is my opinion also. It's my opinion that we have so much going on, and there are so many distractions, and sometimes the battles are distractions, and sometimes the battles are important, and sometimes they can be both a distraction and important. For example, Epstein is a distraction. But it's also a very important segment of this battle for control. Battle for control of the narrative, battle for control of the direction. And no matter what direction it goes, it is going to be shit hits the fan. Have no doubts. I have no doubts, and I have a lot of fear about it, right? A lot of reticence. It is scary what these idiots are doing. But they're becoming more and more vociferous. You know, bellicose, loud. And I think it's going to erupt into something even bigger. Something that we can see in the form of cartels exposing themselves. Factions going to open murder, kind of like in third world countries where we go, oh yeah, you can see who wants to be president because he just killed off his competition. I think we're going to start seeing that. And it's always been just below the surface, hidden away, as in the Hillary Clintons, the Bill Clintons, those types that just happen to have their opponents, people that are exposing them, just get erased. Anyways, rather than me pontificate, let me get into these links, and please consider them. Please think about them. Put in the comment section what you think. What you think, not what I think, what you think about this, and is it possible? Because I see it's not like I woke up just this morning early and said, man, and I went looking for this. This has been happening, right? This activity has been going on, and I'm just now trying to compile it into a video format, right? We've seen lots of evidence of this. It's just getting louder and more obvious. And I think it shows us a direction things have traveled rather than we woke up and opened the front door and it was just staring at us. You know, we had to figure it out. It's been revealing itself to us, in other words. So let's start with opponents of Italy's Salvini accuse him of being a puppet of Putin. Now, Matteo Salvini's hope for a Trump-style revolution in Italy has not only rankled his center-left opponents, but also his nominal allies. Right now, what do we have going on here in Italy? He's kind of been a Trump figure, kind of been a nationalist, kind of been going against the grain, anti-globalist, anti-EU. Right? He's the guy that says, hey, Italy's gold belongs to Italy's people, not to the banks. So they're attacking him now. They're attacking Salvini. So let's put the sides here. Let's put the new order that's trying to come out. And I think they're less dangerous than the old New World Order. Jesus. And then you have the old guys, which is Democrats, Rhino Republican, and they're all in the fascist camp, and they use communism to influence the youth. They're also over there with corporate America that wants a strong union between corporations and government power, as well as the CIA and other dark world instigators, basically the foot soldiers for the corporate government alliance. And in that alliance over there is not only the CIA, but it's just that entire globalist mentality, including the media. Right? The media is their mouthpiece. The CIA and other groups are their henchmen. The corporations are buying out the government, right? And they do not want a return to sound money and sound economics and sound rights and freedoms. Whether or not Trump wants to get us back to a constitutional system, he is certainly not going the direction they want him to. So we're having this big fight, and it's starting to erupt, which is the purpose of this video, is discussing the eruption of what's going on, what people are doing in the macro. And remember, we're just the micro. We're just little people. And we see giant footsteps coming towards us, and we just need to get out of the way, move to the left or the right, and get the hell out of the way so we don't get squished, right? We're just preppers. We can't change this system, but certainly we can see the battle. The same way that an ant on the ground, right, sees humans in a free-for-all, miles above them, just punching and duking it out in what appears to be slow motion. And as ants, all we got to do is get out of the way. Get into a crack, right? And just observe what's going on with these giants, these incredible juggernauts of power. It's incredible. Anyways, so Salvini is now being attacked. He's being attacked the same way Trump was, because they can't have this exposure, this movement happen, but the exposure is going to happen anyways because the system is coming down. We're going to get shit it's the fan light or shit it's the fan mega duty, right? Which one is it, and which direction does the world, not just the United States, but the world come out of? So now we're seeing that, Salvini is being attacked, and other leaders are being attacked as well. It's just I happen to get this one in a news article for us to look at and go, yeah, it's not just a U.S. problem. It's a worldwide problem, because globalism is not a U.S. problem. It's a worldwide problem. And if you think it's not a problem, where have you been, right? It is a problem because it's bringing the whole world down. Okay, now, that salvo was being fired at Salvini. Now here's a response salvo. Google shares slide as Trump agrees company should be investigated for treason. Not corruption and not violating rights, but treason. Treason itself. Now remember, who was Hillary doing deals with on the backside? Russia with Uranium One, and banking deals with China. I haven't talked a whole lot about that, but she is doing money deals and hiding money in China, right? In other words, she's playing both sides, right? She plays both sides. Then they play both sides to the win, and they go with the most profitable turn. But China has been coming up as more adversarial, right? Economically, politically, in a lot of ways. They're our ally and they're our enemy at the same time. It is a love-hate relationship. It is, what do we call this in human relationships on our level? Codependent. It is a codependent relationship. At the same time, in codependent relationships, don't one or both sides try taking advantage and using the other, not only to get what they want, but to get their way? Yeah, you bet. So this is what happened with this. President Trump has apparently taken Peter Thiel's supposition, I think it's more of a working theory than a supposition, that Google could be in cahoots with the Chinese military, right? In a tweet Tuesday morning, Trump reiterated that Thiel's claim that the seemingly treasonous company might be working with the Chinese government and that Trump administration would take a look. Now, whether or not it's true, Trump is doing the same thing the Democrats do to him and that they're doing to Salvini and other countries. He is accusing them of treasonous activity with a foreign adversarial power. Except that we do know that Google has sold us out, sold out our information, who we are. They're making money off of us and stealing our rights. They're spying on us, right? That's what they're doing. That's what Google does. That's what they're doing right now. As we speak, I'm sure they're listening to me. And Zuck can go fuck himself. You know, is this a giant game or is this a real battle? Well, I'm going to go with an old theory I have. It's a working theory that seems to hold up. Is if they wanted to take over and crash everything and steal everything, they could just do it if there's no opposition. So obviously there's an opposition, hence this battle that I'm drawing out and describing here. Trump is going after them. They're going after nationalism. Nationalism is going after the players. Let us not forget that the CIA created Facebook, that Facebook owes fealty to the government. It's a corporation. It owns fealty to the CIA for developing the technology they use to control us. So what he's doing here is he is saying the CIA is committing treason against us, the people, against the government, right? The deep state, the bureaucracy, which is also on the side of media, CIA, rhino fascists, corporate scumbag banks and all, versus nationalists and this other faction over here, which is a little less known because they're not out in front pushing their agenda loudly, but they're starting to, right? And Trump is the mouthpiece for it. Make America great again, right? So, yeah, Trump is saying we're going to take a look at Google, not just for making money off of us, which they're in trouble for, not just for violations of privacy, which they've been fined for, not just for being a complete asshat, which Zuck is, but for treason now. They're stepping it up. Like I said, we're coming close to nuclear politics, nuclear economics, nuclear shit hits the fan, which you and I are just going to be in trouble for. Not for anything we've done. I haven't done anything wrong. You haven't done anything wrong, but we're going to suffer for it, as all civilians do in a war. The military or the soldiers fight it, and the civilians eat it. Right? So when shit hits the fan, you know, you're in charge of you. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, right? Yeah, that's right. So let's move on to the next story. I got to move a little quicker, but this is very important concepts I'm trying to share for you to think about. JP Morgan trading revenues miss across the board, cut net interest income outlook, and shares slide. Now, a couple weeks ago, Morgan Stanley, huge investment firm, started saying we're heading into a recession, right? This fellow Goldman has been doing a lot of talking about the recession. Now, JP Morgan is seeing revenues miss. We've seen Deutsche Bank fall, right? Yesterday's banking news was good for people who are blind and bad for people who can see, or at least they understand what's going on, right? The trading revenues are missing. The banks are taking a hit. The stock market is at all-time highs, right? That's the dumb money out there, just throwing it at the stock market, right? That's the phenotypical view of the economy. It's what is apparent to the eye. But behind the scenes, things are falling apart. Goldman prop trading saves the day as FICC iBanking revenues tumble, average wages drop, right? Take a look at this article. Once again, this is major news coming from those people that know what the hell's going on for real. Now, just like this war with what is happening with globalism, there's what is visible. It's on our screen here, what we're seeing, what we're being sold. And then there's behind the scenes what is really happening. Right? We're being told everything is fine when we know the economy's falling. Right? Trucking, once again, more trucking companies failing, more bad news in transportation. It is falling apart. Yet they have this screen here that we're looking at, that they're telling us everything is good. Stock market is great. Banks behind the scenes are taking a crap. Great article. Lots of good information here. I know it can get a little technical, a little hairy, a little hard to understand, but it's worth reading. Then you move on to this story. Watch live. Senate grills Facebook crypto head about Libra digital currency. This is great. Reading from the article, yesterday, Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin took his fear-mongering a step further by warning that crypto could be a national security threat and saying that the Treasury Department has very serious concerns about Libra, which is Facebook. Amusingly, the market promptly trolled Mnuchin by piling into Bitcoin. No, they've since jumped out of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a bubble. Bitcoin is bullshit. Bitcoin is dreaming. Bitcoin is and I know that anyone who likes Bitcoin and cryptos probably hates my guts. It is not its time, in other words. It's not its time. It's a tool and it's a Ponzi scheme currently. There will be a legitimate use for the blockchain, but it's not as a currency. Okay. And the House has already introduced a bill that would effectively kill Libra before it launches. Once again, who is Libra? Libra is Facebook. What is Facebook? A CIA creation. Who is Facebook in bed with? Let's just call them what they are. They're a bunch of neo-pro-government fascist allies. Let's try it again, right? The banks, the CIA, the media, the rhinos and Democrats. They want to take control and they want to wrest control, right, away from us, the people. And they want to control us. So they're now, like I said, this battle is becoming out in front. They're calling Facebook and Zuckerberg treasonous, and they're going to kill their Libra with legislation, or at least they're threatening, right, this fight. Now they're going after Mnuchin, making fun of him, and I don't blame him. He is comical, right? It's like clown versus clown and spy versus spy. And once again, you and I, we're nobody, right? We are absolutely nobody. But this is what is heating up. This is going to cause shit hits the fan, or rather, the fact that everything is sliding down, shit hits the fan is going to happen anyway, and this is the result. The more pressure that is applied against these dickheads in Washington and New York and London, the more pressure applied against them, the more friction, heat, and conflict. And when it finally slips, right, the cheese comes off the cracker, everyone realizes what a problem we've got. That'll be our moment. That'll be the black flag, the black swan, the false flag, the shit it's the fan moment when everyone goes, rut-row, raggy, all right? So, let's go to another news story. And let's go, computer. As Wall Street celebrates soaring stocks, companies are literally shutting down all over America. Hello, ladies. Charming Charlie, out of business. I'm sorry about that. I know it was a great store for you, you babes, but Toast. And it's not the only one. Store after store after store. It even has a name because it's been happening for 2 years now. Retail apocalypse, right? It's just going out of business. And it's happening again and again and again. They like to say the economy's great by pointing to the stock market, which is in the title of this news story. They're celebrating because everyone thinks they're getting rich. And this is the exact same thing. Going back to 1929, the Roaring Twenties was pumped by the new Federal Reserve System that was initiated in 1913, took root. They pumped everything through the 1920s, called the Roaring Twenties. Everyone thought they were brilliant. Everyone thought they were on top of it. They were all, if they had money, throwing it into Wall Street. And then what? The market crashed. But that money didn't disappear. That money was just transferred to someone else. Everyone thought they were getting rich because stock values were going up and up and up and up. Everyone was going to be a millionaire. Right? It's the investment version of modern monetary theory. The I can't lose theory. And we can just all make money on this as we push it up higher and higher. But the thing is it's not real until you sell it, until you physically hold the cash in your hands from the sale. What happens every time? Everyone starts getting these big old bundles of green, right? They think, but it's stock paper. And then the market crashes and their hands are empty. It's happening again. It's happening again. And I'm going to cover one more topic. And I'm going to do it, and it's a very short video. It's like a 6-minute or 7-minute video. I would ask you to watch it. It's done by Mike Maloney, and it starts off kind of, what the hell are you talking about? But then he gets into some charts, and by the end of the video, you're going to see something very interesting. And it's starting to play out in the paper market, and that is the consumption of silver by some very large investors. We know that gold is being bought by central banks and the uber wealthy and nation states. They're buying the gold, but someone has consistently been buying silver. Silver for the past, well, since they crashed the price back in, I think, 11 or 13, whatever the hell it was. Right? They've been buying it all the way, but they've steadily bought. And the paper versus silver physical buying has literally been counterintuitive. It's been more aligned to a physical market than the paper, while gold is traded more the physical along with the paper. Anyways, watch the video and you're going to see something very dramatic developing and accelerating. The system is imploding. And we can see what is going on behind the scenes by examining some of this information. It is getting very, very tight. Tempers are getting short. Accusations are flying. And aren't you glad that you're a prepper? Right? Aren't you glad you're a prepper? Because these things, even though if you just take one news story and just look at it independently, you're like, okay, so what? That's not good, right? That's not good. That's not good. That's interesting. That's not good. That's interesting. But when you combine it and you start seeing a pattern, and that pattern follows history, right? It doesn't deviate, in other words. We're seeing consistent behavior, consistent action. And it's only because you pay attention that you'll see it. When I was 20, I saw the pieces, but I didn't see the picture, right? Mosaic is, let's just say, 10,000 pieces of tile, all colored a little differently. You can look at one piece and you go, that's a pretty piece of tile. But it's when it's laid out and the different colors used, you start to see the picture. As you step back, right, you stop seeing individual tile pieces and you start seeing the picture, the mosaic. And you've seen these beautiful Roman mosaics they've uncovered, right? Dolphins and people. Up close, you can't see anything with one piece, but when you step back, the different colors all blend into a picture, kind of like pixels, right? It's their version of digital technology, and it's beautiful. Except the picture we're seeing, the mosaic, as we step back, as we bring more pieces in front of us, it is not it's not a beautiful picture. It's a picture of disaster and grave consequences for all of the greed and corruption and filth. So get prepared. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. Have your plan. Thank you for supporting the Prepared Mind. The Prepared Mind Network, channel, everything that we do. I need you guys to continue to support us by sharing this video and information with others. They are trying to shut us up as well. They don't want more of these pieces and understanding to get out there. They need to keep the picture cloudy. They want to throw dust in the air and dirt in the air, and they want to distract us. Like I said, the Epstein thing on the one hand is sensational distraction. On the other hand, is it part of this game? Where the bad guys that are over there, the rhinos and Democrats, right, the CIA and other, shall we say, clandestine organizations, the media, the banks, the court system, the bureaucrats, they're all involved with Epstein. Not all of them, but a good lot of them, and very powerful people. And just arresting Epstein is nothing. It's who will be exposed, and will they be exposed? Because this is how they control them. They pay them off with money. Right, Jamie Dimon? They get put in positions where they get to benefit and actually cheat the system and have the government turn a blind eye. Right? It's not just blind justice, it's blind government. Put the sword in the sheath, blinded themselves, turned their back, and allowed the safe, the treasury, to be robbed. Right, Mr. Dimon? You get to take out your little piece every day, and no one will notice because there's so many pieces of gold left. Well, the more the vault, the treasury, depletes and is empty, when we're down to just 10 pieces of gold sitting on the floor, and you come in and steal the day's gold, one of them, we're going to notice the difference between 10 and 9 when we can hardly notice the difference between 10,000 and 9,999. Kind of hard to see the difference when they first started. But now that we're down to just a few pieces left, it's easy to see the pilfering as it continues. There's going to be a shitstorm, folks. An absolute shitstorm. And I just wanted to share this with you. And I thank you. Once again, do your best to get prepared. Chance favors the prepared mind. Understanding who we are and being realistic about it. I'm nobody. I'm just one little guy. You know, we're all nobodies out here. But we can get prepared for what's coming. Insulate and protect ourselves and understand how dangerous this game is. Thank you again. I'll talk to you very soon.